Hey guys, Colbert here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this one we'll be going over all the campaign farmers that we have in Raid Shadow Legends as of 2021. I'll go through some of them and actually show some of the most important ones that you need to have in consideration when you want to build a campaign farmer. If you haven't built one just yet, then this video is definitely for you. So before we get on to the video, guys, a word from our sponsor for today's video. The sponsor for this video, guys, is of course World War Dough. If you haven't checked the game out, this is the time for you to do so because I have my own club in this game called the Cold Brew Crew. You can check it out within the game. Just download the game. There's a link down in the description. You can help me out if you download it through my link. So you can just play a new game and also help me out just by this simple way. So the Cold Brew Crew, we have 5 spots only available. So if you want to come in here and also compete to actually win 1,000 diamonds, everyone, by just being in the top position, then download the game and find the Cold Brew Crew now because only 5 spots, as I said. World War Dough is a game very similar to Clash Royale, but not similar at all because you have your own commander. This guy here in the middle, which you can control, move around, put down all these different units which you acquire through just playing the game and opening those chests that you get for free. And then also you can use different commander skins, heroes that we have within the game. These skins can be acquired by just playing through every single month, every single season, and each skin has different abilities which you can upgrade and use depending on your playstyle, which can be unique to your enemies and different, which makes this game so different than other games that I played before. The live PvP thing and also that the fights go from 2 to 5 minutes make this extremely unique and something that I do enjoy playing. Another great thing about this is of the unique taunts, bubbles, and dances that you have within the game. I think my favorite ones are, this one, the blurred middle finger, and of course the text bubbles that you can use. I have almost unlocked every single one of these, but I think the best ones is of course the noob one and which one? The OK Boomer, I would say, are the best ones. But there's so many and they continuously put more in those. So it makes the game even funnier when you see your opponent just throw out a text bubble to try and taunt you with that one. We also have every single month a ladder which you can climb by just playing PvP and fighting your opponents. I'm currently in Platinum, trying to climb back up again because it just reset. But you can go all the way to the Pro Division, the Grandmaster position right here. If you do get that, then you get a ton of rewards, being either unique dances, taunts, text bubbles, or even skins which you can use within the game. So guys, please download the game. As I said, only 5 spots for the Cold Brew Crew. The link is going to be this one right here. Download bit.ly gold WWD. That's my link right there. It's going to be in the description, also in the comments down below, so definitely check it out. So guys, campaign farming is such an important part of the game. You need to just devote so much time into this game in terms of leveling up your champions, and the best place to do this is of course stage 12.3 or stage 12.6 in the brutal campaign. You're gonna ask me, why do we have a nightmare campaign if that's not the most important place? Well, brutal campaign is much better because it's much faster to farm it. The energy cost is half and you get more silver out of it. So in terms of efficiency, it's much better to do 12.3 or 12.6, depending on which stage you can farm the fastest. But obviously stage 12.3 is the best because it also gives you the most amount of silver. So starting up this video, we'll talk about the very first campaign farmers that everyone has. And of course, it's one of the 4 beginner champions. It's going to be either Kale, Aethel, Galek, or Elhain. Every one of these 4 champions can do the same thing and can farm stage 12.3 of the campaign just fine. So you don't need to worry about actually getting a specific campaign farmer. If you are strict with your resources and just devote some of your resources just to level up a specific champion who will be a devoted campaign farmer. So definitely Elhain or Galek or Kale or Aethel, the ones you have from the beginning, will be farming stage 12.3 just fine, depending on their gear. But definitely at stage 60, it's an easy way to farm those at about 25 seconds, 20 seconds if you get lucky with your masteries. But these are amazing farmers. Eventually, you might consider just moving away from these champions, and the reason is just farming efficiency and time spent in the game. Of course, you won't ever be in this situation if you don't have that much energy to spend in the campaign. But if you're somebody like me, or maybe you just buy a few packs and have so much energy, you need to be farming stage 12.3 extremely fast so that you can go through all your energy every day and not spend an average of 30 seconds per fight, but spend maybe a much less, much lower amount of time in there. So there are some specific champions who fill this role, and I'm going to show all three of the ones that I have, but of course I'll mention some of the other champions who can be used, but I don't have them. Maybe you can use those instead if you do have them. So I'll go first with the ones I don't have, and it's gonna be, of course, Ithos. Ithos is a champion that can even farm the Nightmare campaign if you do have him and do have the gear for him. His gear needs for farming Nightmare campaign is much higher than, of course, doing the farm for Brutal campaign, but he definitely can farm it just because of this skill. The A3 attacks all enemies. This attack is always critical. He has very high damaging attacks, and if he rotates through them fast enough and his master is proc, then he can farm that Nightmare campaign extremely fast. I don't have him. I wish I did, but he's definitely worth it if you do so. Then there are other champions I would like to mention, although I don't use them as campaign farmers. Champions like Skull Crown or Sinesha that have an A1 that does an AoE definitely can work as campaign farmers, especially Skull Crown because of their high damaging skills and all AoE skills. Look at her A1 and A2. The A2 does a double hit, and the A1 the A1 does a double hit, and the A2 does a big damaging hit. So definitely a good campaign farmer, and actually a 12/7 farmer as well, just because she cannot die. But let's go to the actual campaign farmers that everybody uses. Now I'm going to show you who is the best one out of all those. You guys might not realize who will be the best one, but you'll see it in a bit. So in stage 12.3, let's remove every one of those. In terms of time and how long it takes for this champion to farm it, the best one is, of course, Fellhound. Fellhound is a rare void champion, and he can farm it with his A1. Attacks all enemies, has a 25% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. We don't care about this. We only care about the damage. Depending on how much gear you have on him, I have too much gear on him because I don't have masteries on him. So let's go over his gear very quickly. So the way that I have Fellhound built is a bit overboard in terms of both damage, critical rate, critical damage, and speed. I don't care too much about his speed. Over 103 is just fine. But I've built him this way with so much critical damage just because I don't have any masteries on him that do matter. For example, don't have flawless execution. It would have given me some freedom in terms of gearing him up. You don't need all this gear for him, but he definitely can make use of it and farm this stage extremely fast. So let's go and see 12.3 with Fellhound. Depending on how good your computer is or your phone is, then his farming time might actually be even lower than this. The lowest that you can go is actually 5 seconds. There we go. We did get the 5 seconds. This is the fastest farmer in the game just because of how his animations are. Animations, I mean how the character moves and how his damage is shown on the screen and what he does. He doesn't run all the way to the enemy to fight, so he just sends out a wave and kills it. So it's extremely fast. 5 seconds plus a few seconds here and there. It's about 8 seconds per run. Extremely fast way to go through your energy and farm those champions up. Next up, in terms of how much gear you need for a specific champion to farm the campaign stage 12.3, I would say the Queen Eva is the best one in that situation, but she's a legendary champion. She does have an AoE in all of her skills, if I'm not mistaken. Now, she does have an AoE on her A3, which this AoE also gives you a 15% extra chance to inflict a critical hit. If you kill something, then this cooldown is reset. So if you do have her built correctly, then she will be critting all the time and also killing the enemies, refreshing this, and she'll be spamming it each and every single wave. So she is a fantastic farmer if you want to build her this way. And the great thing about her is that she has an aura that gives her a critical rate and also this extra 15% critical chance from that A3, which helps you require much less gear to build her up. So I'll show you how I've built mine up. Although I did go a bit overboard in terms of attack, you don't need all of this. The critical rate is, again, more than needed. You need about 66%. The critical damage is not needed all the way up there, but my gear is just, end game gear. I didn't even level up some of these, but still she has a lot of critical damage. You're going to see how she farms 12.3. And by farming 12.3, she is much slower than Fellhound, the champion that you just saw. So a void champion is much faster than this one. Look at this, 6 seconds, and sometimes she takes about 8 seconds to farm. I'll do this run again because she usually does about 8 seconds. Might be a faster day today, but the farming time that she has is between 6 and 8 seconds. She can never farm it at 5. I've tried it many times before and it didn't really get to 5 seconds. Finally, guys, the champion that I would say is the best campaign farmer even in 2021 is going to be Soros. And the reason is, guys, the way that you can acquire Soros. Soros can be acquired by just opening up mystery shards or even farming the campaign. So if you go to stage, where is it? Stage 10. Yeah. Here where you farm the retaliation sets, you can also farm for Soros and farm up his copies of Soros so that you can use him, the copies, to actually book this champion up and have him ready to go for farming the campaign. The reason that I would say Soros is the best one is how easy he is to get, and because he can farm it at 6 seconds. So he's between being a very fast farmer, but also very easy to obtain by all players and not requiring you to open any kind of shard to actually get him. So let's just go in and I'll show you what Soros does. He does the same thing as the other two farmers that I've shown you before. Look at that A1. And look at that A2 that does a double hit, and he's an amazing farmer. His farming also is between 6 and 7 seconds, depending on how fast your computer can be, but definitely a solid farmer to consider. And I made a video on him about a year or so ago. It has so many views, and those stats that I had then still work in 2021. So if you want to go check that out, it's my highest viewed video. I think the second highest viewed video on this channel. So you can definitely check that out. Some other champions, of course, that can farm the campaign are any champions that have an A1 that does an AoE. And another good example of those is, of course, Bellower. He is a Void champion and a hard champion to get, but he is good in not only farming the campaign, but other areas of the game. I just want to clear that out as well. So he does have an AoE in each and every single one of his moves. So definitely a worthwhile champion to level up for other areas of the game as well if you do get him. So if you get a champion and you see that he has an AoE on the A1, consider that he can also be used as a campaign farmer. The 3 champions that I showed in this video and actually showed how fast they can farm it are the ones that I do think are the top campaign farmers in 2021, unless we get something that's even faster than that later on in the year and farms it at 4 or even 3 seconds, which would be insane. Thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. And if you would like to download World to help me out, there's a link down below in the description and of course in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.